this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Well, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. I wanted to make my third recommendation today, and it's on a commodity, copper. Again, this is a long-term chart. If you think about emerging markets and you think about my bullish outlook on China, it's no surprise that copper is a recommendation here. When you look at this chart, it looks very similar to the Shanghai index, only the Shanghai, same kind of consolidation, only the Shanghai index is way down here, whereas the copper chart is a little bit higher, but still in a big consolidation going back to 2008. So again, we're 15 years into a consolidation here, and you can see this is a monthly chart. The prices of copper are trying to break out of this 2-year plus consolidation, and if it's able to do that, as we'll see on a closer look of this, our price projection is 510, which would break it out of this big pattern. So anyway, let's take a look at this triangle. It looks a little bit different when we get down to the weekly chart, the 3-year chart, but it's still a consolidation. Okay, so a lot going on in this chart. This is the triangle. See the green downward sloping line and the upward sloping blue line. That would be kind of the equivalent of what we saw on the long-term chart. And it doesn't quite match up the touches here. It's a little bit off to what a symmetrical triangle really needs to be. So to be technically sound here, I think we have to start the upper trend line or the resistance line. It was resistance line here at the beginning of 2023 and not back here, which gives us a lesser price projection, but it's still attractive. So here's the triangle, the two converging blue trend lines. You can see that 2 weeks ago, we had a big up week and we got big volume here confirming that breakout. Oops, I'm sorry. Confirming that outbreak, that breakout. This week, we're getting, instead of chasing that breakout, patience, and we see last week, or this past week, we see a down red weekly bar, down almost 3% on the week, and it's giving us a chance to buy this at a good reward to risk. So we also have a smaller inverse head and shoulders bullish pattern, similar to what we saw on the daily chart of FXI, the Chinese large cap iShares ETF. But this triangle is legit. The price projection based on that triangle, which is arrived at by measuring the base of that triangle and projecting upwards, gives us a 510 price projection, or about 27% upside. Again, this is a landing area, not it could be a little short, it could be higher, but it gives us an idea of, with this compression that's gone on the last 2 years, how much oomph this should have coming out of it. And our stop, we're going to put right here below our moving averages, below this big breakout bar. And that gives us about 5% potential downside. So if you look at the upside versus the downside, our reward to risk is about 5-to-1, which is really attractive. So again, this is, again, these are, you don't see these kind of breakouts all that often. So it's kind of, it's really interesting. And if we get to 510, again, you look back here and we have a breakout of this enormous pattern, which would give us a huge price projection way higher. But first things first, let's just make some money here. And so that's what copper is showing me. Now, we don't buy copper futures. I don't. You got leverage involved, costs involved. So we're going to look at an ETF, which looks similar. So the tracking is pretty good on this. And the symbol on that is CPER. And here's our triangle. And here's our breakout, again, on big volume, good volume. And now our retracement last week of about 3%. And so this ETF is at basically 25, and we're going to put a stop at 23.5. So it gives us $1.50 downside or about 6% potential downside. And the upside, based if you measure the base of this triangle and project up, you got a $32 price projection or 28% potential upside. And our reward to risk is about 4.5 to 1. So again, really, really attractive. The setup is good. And so let's take just a brief look at the point and figure chart. We don't have a bullish price projection because of this big row of zeros down, but we do have a bullish trend line. So I like that. And so just to summarize, I want to make these short and sweet. If you want more detail, just message me, send me a comment and say, I'd like more detail, and I'm happy to do that. But I think most people want these short and sweet and bottom line. So I'm suggesting buying the copper ETF CPER. It has a bullish breakout of a 2-year symmetrical triangle on rising volume, upside price projection of 32 or 28% higher, downside price projection of 23.5 or 6% on the downside. Our reward to risk is 4.5 to 1. And as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like. And thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Have a great weekend.